Back in my lucid dreaming try-harding days, when I was like a lucid dreamer in training, 12-year-old Tiger 123, and I was in all these lucid dreaming discords, which I'm now all banned from. But I was in all these discords and I was always researching lucid dreaming shit. I always wanted to know like what the limits of a lucid dream were. I always wanted to know if there were limits and like what kind of crap you couldn't do in a lucid dream, right? And I came across this thing which has always fascinated me. It still fascinates the crap out of me. And I think most people who start lucid dreaming, this is also like a reason they keep lucid dreaming and they keep motivated a lot, is persistent realms. And this is basically a world that you create in your dreams that stays the same, or in your lucid dreams or whatever. And so, as the name suggests, it's a persistent realm, right? It's persistent. So everything stays the same. You can go back to this world. The characters stay the same. The characters remember you. Objects stay there when you go back. It's basically just like another real world, right? When normal lucid dreams are kind of different. They're kind of changing, inconsistent, whatever. But a persistent realm, it's like, it stays persistent. Everything stays the same when you go back to it. So you could literally just like create Hogwarts or some shit and just go to Hogwarts. And then when you wake up, you can go back to the very same moment you left from last lucid dream and just keep doing the same shit in this persistent realm. So I thought this was sick as fuck. And like, this isn't very well known in like mainstream lucid dreaming or whatever. Mainstream lucid dreaming communities, if that's even a thing. This isn't that well known, I don't feel like. But I tracked down the guy who kind of made this popular on a forum called Dream Views. It's like this old lucid dreaming forum. And he said, this guy who kind of, I don't know if he made up the term persistent realm, but he kind of made the idea popular. And when people talk about persistent realms and lucid dreamings, they always kind of link back to this one guy. And I'll link his shit in the description, bro, but just let me talk about it because I'm more interesting. But basically this guy had a persistent realm in his lucid dreams since he was like a kid. And this persistent realm, he could go back to it anytime he wanted. It was like a fantasy world, if I'm correct. He could just go back to it in any lucid dream and the characters remembered him and it all stayed the same. And he also said that he had several other persistent realms and he kind of laid out I don't know if you would call them rules because it's a lucid dream. There's kind of no fucking rules, but he kind of laid out the, I don't know, guideline. I don't know what the word is, bro. What is the word? I don't know what the fucking word is, bro. But he kind of laid out what a persistent realm is, and it's basically where your actions have consequences and everything stays the same. And if you die in a persistent realm, you cannot go back. So that's one kind of rule he gave himself, that if he died in a persistent realm, he could not go back to it because he wanted it to be realistic as possible. So normally when you're in a lucid dream, you're like God, right? You can do anything. You're literally a fucking God. But with persistent realms, it's more like you're just another character in the world. It's more like you're just here like you are now, but you're in another like fantasy world or whatever. You're not a god. If you want to like learn a skill, if you want to learn magic in this persistent realm, you're gonna have to learn it like all the other characters in the realm are doing it, right? You don't just have unlimited power. Otherwise it wouldn't really be a persistent realm. So this guy who had all these persistent realms, he says I think it was like he had 2 persistent realms he died in, and so he could never go back to them again. So he had 2 whole worlds he had that he went to several times, but he ended up dying in them and he never could go back to them. He said this was good because it meant like his actions actually had consequences and he actually had to be careful. And I thought this was interesting as fuck because I've also come across several other lucid dreamers who have like persistent realms. I've seen a few who are like omni-lucid. So they're lucid in every dream. That's basically what that means. They're lucid in every single dream they have every night. And I've seen a few of these people have persistent realms, which they've been going to for like years. And this guy on Dream Views outlined exactly how he would create a new persistent realm if he was going to create one. So if you're in a lucid dream and you want a persistent realm, this guy made instructions on how to make one. And he said basically, since dream control, like controlling your lucid dream, is kind of based around your deep expectations in like your subconscious mind, right? If you want it to be a truly persistent realm, you kind of have to go to it. Like you can't just create it in front of your eyes, because like your brain will know it's not another place, right? It'll know it's not an actual persistent realm if you just try and summon it in front of your eyes. So what this guy did with all the persistent realms, he pretends that the dream he's in, when he realizes he's in a dream and he becomes lucid, he pretends that dream is like a bubble, and then he has to fly out of that bubble, and he pretends that that dream he was just in was its whole separate realm. That was just the realm of normal lucid dream, right? Normal dream world. And so he flies out of that bubble, and then he says he flies around and he finds a bubble with the persistent realm he wants. That maybe sounds complicated, but the point is that he suggests that instead of just summoning it in front of your eyes, you kind of pretend that the lucid dream you're in is its own realm, and then you fly out of that realm, and then you see all these other bubbles and shit and all these other realms you can go to, and then that will help your brain believe that this other realm you enter into is its own thing, and so that will make it much more persistent. And this guy's a powerful lucid dreamer, bro. I actually was reading some of his like dream journal entries and shit. This guy has a shit ton of lucid dreams, so he knows what he's talking about. And he said all his persistent realms are much more like realistic, much more grounded than real dreams. So I just thought that was cool as fuck. And also, you can create a persistent realm without even having to lucid dream. And you can do this through dream incubation, which is basically just choosing what to dream about. And I'm gonna be real, I don't know shit about that. As I've said this before, I still don't know shit about dream incubation. I'm actually trying to incubate a persistent realm right now just to like see what methods work. So if I make any progress on that, I'll tell you, bro. But yeah, I don't know shit about dream incubation. But basically, you don't even need to lucid dream to create a persistent realm. Hopefully I'll get results soon and I can tell you if I made a persistent realm successful. But sometimes as well, I've heard of people having these persistent realms without ever having a lucid dream and without ever even knowing what it is. Like some people have these dream worlds when they're kids that they just go to anyways, and they didn't even know about this lucid dreaming shit. So maybe you have that, let me know, I don't know. But join the Discord, leave me a comment, I'll reply to every comment, bro. I fucking love you. I love you. And join the Discord.